Hey guys, welcome back to The Poor Investor. I have since gone through all your votes and I've looked through it. It's 50-50 as far as I saw it last. I didn't even check it now, but today I was going to do an entire video on what I was going to do and what I was going to spend my money on and what I was going to buy. And then all of a sudden, as I was thinking about what to say and what to do on this next video, this AMA came out. Well, this product team Q&A, not so much an AMA. It was released really sudden because I don't think it was even announced. I didn't see anywhere that it was announced, but they went through the entire roadmap, which was released officially a couple of days back, and it had a couple of things in there. My honest opinion is that I didn't see a lot of like hype around this. There wasn't anything like really spectacular, but there was things that they were already working on and it was already announced. One thing in particular was the beta, or in regards to the GPU plotting, which is still in progress. And I'm going to go through a little bit of the stuff that, they were talking about, cold wallets or hardware wallets and things like that. And a couple other things on the roadmap that we're going to go through in a little bit more detail. And maybe you guys just chime in. Let me know what your thoughts are. Did this roadmap change a lot, or was it something that was out of your expectation as far as, it's moving towards a greater future, or it was kind of bland? In my honest opinion, I thought it was a little bit bland. It wasn't too exciting. There was some NFT announcements and things like that, but I'm going to go through right here the first thing that stood out the most and most what people want to hear, which is the GPU plotting. That was one small portion of what this product team Q&A was about, just a little bit. All right, so let's play this part.
GPU plotter that supports NVIDIA cards into the beta program. We have almost 400 people that are testing software in the beta program. We have log submissions from about like 70 folks already. So it's been going extremely well, with the Windows and Linux testing that we have so far. So that was the BladeBit CUDA Alpha. In the next phase, we're gonna have like a phase 2 of the beta program where we move into compressed plot support. So these plotters already create compressed plots, and then in this phase 2 of the beta program, which will happen here in a few weeks, get started, the beta program will start testing this at scale on Windows and Linux and Mac for actually farming these compressed plots. So once we have that goes to the beta program and the software is mature and reliable and tested and validated across a bunch of operating systems and system types and ARM and x86, as you can imagine, we have a bunch of stuff to support. Then we'll have support in the beta client, like where people can do.
So guys, still expect some time for this to actually come out officially, because it has to be supported and it has to work properly, because if it doesn't, people are just going to complain and then going to stop doing it, and then that defeats the whole purpose. So there was in this, I'll make it really short, was that in the future they're going to try to accommodate people with 128 megs of RAM, 128 gigs of RAM. They're going to try and lower that threshold of having 256 or anything above that, because a lot of people just don't have the capacity for it. And two, they are looking to support AMD cards. Not saying when, because they didn't say when they were going to support it. Right now, it's just all NVIDIA, but there is some hope out there for you AMD guys that there may be a possibility of doing all this with your AMD cards, all right? Because AMD, in my opinion, is just as efficient as NVIDIA cards. So the next step we're going to go into, they're going to talk about the hardware wallets. And also the next phase that they're going into is under considerations. That means a possibility that it may not even happen. So we'll just listen in and see what they have to say about that.
I want to move to the second half of the year. This is the stuff that's under consideration. We have a pretty high degree of confidence about some of these things that we're working on, but we'll have a schedule for you shortly. Cameron, I'm wondering if you could talk to us a little bit about Ledger and hardware wallets.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is something we've been looking forward to for a long time. It's something that we've been blocked on because the Ledger devices don't actually support BLS signatures. And in order for us to make any progress, we've just been waiting for that to happen. Ledger has been hard at work on it. In fact, they've actually now shipped a firmware that does have BLS support in it. Unfortunately, that's not everything we need. We actually need a little bit more from them in order to be able to begin development of a Ledger app that runs on device and can generate BLS signatures for Chia.
So in regards to that, you just heard it. They are working on it, but they do support BLS on the Ledger side, but unfortunately it didn't live up to Chia's standard. So they have to bring it back to the drawing board and probably put something else together. Hopefully Chia will approve of, and then it'll be released to the masses, which you and I can using, hardware wallet, just like how we do with Bitcoin and Ethereum or whatever else coins that fits on the ledger. So that's that. And then we have one other thing that I think was pretty interesting to learn about this whole bridging between Chia and Ethereum. Now, why Ethereum? What happened to the Bitcoin? I think Evergreen, the team is still working on the bridging between XCH and Bitcoin still, but the Chia team is actually working on something between bridging Ethereum and XCH that will bring the community of people who are investing in NFTs on the Ethereum side over to XCH, because the interchangeable and swapping between the two, or the trading between the two, is seamless. And we'll hear a little segment about that as well.
Yeah, so like we've announced here, we are working on building a bridge from Ethereum to Chia. The goal here would be to facilitate the movement of assets from Ethereum to Chia and vice versa, primarily looking at initially supporting bridging Ether over to Chia, and additionally ERC20 tokens such as USDC over to Chia. And they will come out on the Chia side as wrapped assets using the CAT standard. And then you'll be able to go back to Ethereum with those wrapped assets. We're not making, at this point in time, the ability to take native Chia assets back to Ethereum, but that is something that is possible. So potentially you could see CATs as wrapped assets on Ethereum in the future, but that's not something that we'll have here. Something that will also be possible in the future that is not part of our initial release would be NFT support. So we could, with the same mechanisms, be able to take Ethereum NFTs and bring them over to Chia as newly minted Chia NFTs. This will be a permissioned bridge that will run and be controlled by a set of validators. And so it'll be an M of N sort of signature required to do any of the bridge activities.
So guys, you heard it for yourself. There is a bridge between Chia and Ethereum, but there is a larger concern in regards to that, because there's so much scams and people trying to do certain things to cheat the other people on the other end of the line, right? So what are they doing? They're putting validators in place and hoping that, people who are playing nice and fair are the ones who are going to be profitable and, doing well. But unfortunately, there's always going to be something in between that where people are out to scam and do all that other stuff. So little concerning there in regards to opening up this floodgate of Chia, XCH to Ethereum. Nice to have it. Future is great. The technology is awesome. But unfortunately, that comes with some consequences when that will happen. So until that happens, we'll see. But of course, that it will definitely open up the gates for a lot of people who are holding Ethereum and NFTs there, and possibly start using XCH as an alternative to all of that. So there is a positive note to all of this news. And another one that they have on the timeline, which is an ASIC Time Lord. And Justin is going to explain a little bit more, because I had no idea what that was going to do or why that was even there. But apparently it's part of the product, and now it's a thing that's Chia building on top of. If you don't go on to this video, you can read all about it. Right, it's listed here. I will show you guys really quickly. It's on their website, the roadmap.chia.net. They will detail all the Q1 and Q2 and the under consideration and what's already been delivered for 2022. You can see all that. Now, if you go to the video itself, which I'll link on the bottom, obviously, most of you are probably subscribed to the Chia Network YouTube channel. And the talking points that I had so far, if you scroll down to the comment section right here, I timestamped the points that I've been talking about in this video that was interest of me to me. Kind of like the hot points for myself. There were a couple other things in there, but I just whatever, you know, things that stood out to me majority. And I'll click this. 7:15 is the last one that we're going to go through.
Jump to Justin to talk a little bit about our upcoming ASIC timeline.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you, Paul. So this project is moving along very rapidly. Right now, we're in the final testing and confirmation stages. We have seen our VDF run on the ASIC. We've seen the ASIC do all of the basically all the checkpoint or gating tests we've needed up to this point to say we're just about ready to get them into the wild. I believe there's some final fine tuning we're still doing with our contractor, our engineering contractor that we're working with on this. But these are it's incipient. I would say that we're probably a couple weeks out from having final sign off, and then we'll work out a plan to start getting them into the hands of the community. Obviously, that's something that we'll work with DevRel and everybody to kind of broadcast once we're ready for all of that. I have been really pleased with the stuff we're seeing out of the testing right now. Like, these things are super duper performant. The build quality is super great. I think you guys are going to really love them when we get them into your hands. I'm very excited for this to come out this year.
All right, guys. So there you have it. I don't know if these ASICs are actually the ones that are going to be people purchasing it. And if you do, just like, we probably watch a lot of YouTubers have ASIC miners for Bitcoin. How does that benefit you by having an ASIC Time Lord? I don't know. Do you gain anything out of it? Do you earn anything from it? I'm not sure. But of course, a lot more details have to be coming out from that, because, it's just some of these things are over my head. A lot of the NFT stuff, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know all of it. Things that sounds interesting to me, I'm going to relay it back to you. And for the most part, you guys are going to be like watching this. And if no one was actually coming on in front of you on a video and telling you like what the hell they're trying to explain or talk about, it'll blow over. Like it'll blow your mind and be like, well, what the hell is this that they're talking about? But some of you guys are more technically inclined, and you would know right away what they're talking about, how the hardware wallet having issues and they're waiting for the revision from Ledger, things like that. And of course, not a lot of people are still confused about how this whole GPU plotting and farming is going to play out, and between having how much memory and how much CPU. All those details are going to be coming out and more as time goes on, because they're still fixing it. They're still revising it. They're still finalizing it. They're trying to make it more accommodating to the end user like you and I, who do not have all, these server enterprise level servers with maximum, extreme amount of memory on them and hard drives and all those other things. So how about the basic farmer? What I'm trying to cater to is you, the basic farmer. You have 112 terabyte drive. Awesome. That's something I would have done. And, from that point on, but not tons and tons of terabytes or even petabytes of storage. That's maybe for another channel or maybe another person that does all that. I mean, that's pretty extreme, right? My next video is going to be really interesting, and you guys are going to be like, holy cow, this is what poor investor did, or the green investor, or the poor green investor. Anyway, I want to thank you guys for being here and joining me today. Happy Friday, and I'll see you guys really soon. Stay tuned for the next video.